Hello and welcome to this application. MyWork is a work management tool. It's simple, it's efficient. So it's for task management, for task documentation, for time tracking, reminders and meetings. Let's start the application. It's right here into the Windows taskbar. Right click on it and let's go to the first screen, which is task management. Let's create a new task, my new task. I will assign this task to a project. I will specify a deadline tomorrow at 12 o'clock, and I estimate to work to this task for 5 hours. Now the task provider, it's Roman Schroeder. This is the person that gave me the task, and the priority should be high. And let's say save, and now you will see my task into my task list. You can see all the details right here. The deadline is in 1 day. Also some details about estimation. So the total estimated time, how much time do I have to work, how much percent should I have worked until now, and so on. Now let's start working on this task. I will say right click and I will say start. Now I told you before that you can also document your tasks. To do so, you can use task comments, and let's go to comment section and let's create a comment. Let's say my first comment, and just to show you can use screenshots. Let's create one. Let's make a screenshot to this part of the screen, and you can draw some shapes and so on, and save. And here it is, my screenshot. Now another feature that you can use in comments, it's creating some links to another task. Let's say that this task is related to another task, and let's drag and drop a task right into the comments, and I just created a task link. Also I can create a file link. Please use this file for testing, and I will just open a file. Let's go to attachments column and right click on some attachments, and now I'll get some attachments in attachments list, and again drag and drop into the comments and save. Now I just created my comment. For example, you can open the comments for this task directly here. Right click on it and just go to view all task comments for this one, or you can open the file right here, double click on it, and here it is. Now you have an idea how you can use task comments. I use it a lot. I use especially for situation when I document all the things that I do for a task, and this is very useful because you never know when you have to remember and somebody asks you what you did, and it's all there. Now let's see some views. Let's go to view for day. View for day is the place where you can see all the activity for a day. So those are all my tasks that I work for today. As you can see, my new task is in progress. Okay. Each task has a color. For example, the first one has the color green. The color is important because you can find the corresponding task intervals for that task. For example, in this situation, there are two task intervals, and there is a small break between them. Now, by inspecting those task intervals, you can see that I start my working day at 8 and 46 minutes. Here I had a short break of 6 minutes, and then I finish my task at 16 o'clock. And of course another much bigger break, and here it is, my new task in progress. This finish line will tell me when I can go home, for example, because in some companies you have to stay each day some hours at work. Usually there are 8 working hours. So if I keep going with this task, I will get 8 working hours for my case at 18 and 58 minutes. You can see all the time for each task right here into those columns. If you are interested the difference between total time and time, it's about task having children. For example, this parent task has the total time of 50 minutes, but the time only for him, it's for it it's 0 minutes, and those 50 minutes came from the child task. Okay, now you can do a lot of things with task intervals. For example, you can add a short break. Let's add a break right here at 10 o'clock. Right click, split. So I just split the task interval in 2. I will select one and I will add a short break of 20 minutes here. So the task interval will start at 10 and 20 minutes. By doing so, I will add a break right here. Or there are some options. For example, if you want to delete this break, extend this interval to the left, change, and now to compact those two task intervals, right click on it and say join. Okay, you can create, for example, reminders. For example, let's say that I want to see a reminder in 3 minutes, in the next 3 minutes. Right click and I will say create a reminder, and I will say my first reminder. So I will get a notification. You can use reminder if you want to remind something, so it's obvious. Here it's the icon for my reminder. As you can see, at 18 and 60 minutes, so in 3 minutes, I will get a notification with the text, my first reminder. You can also create notices. For example, let's create a notice, and let's say I was in a break here. Save, and here it is, my notice. You can also create meetings. Let's say that from 19 o'clock to 20 I will have a meeting. Let's say create a meeting, and let's say team meeting. Since on the description, usually the room where the meeting will take place, the participants and so on. But my description is simple, blah blah blah. Okay, now I have to specify the time when the meeting will end, and I say that it will end at 20 o'clock, and now save. Here it is, my meeting, it's already into my list, and I have it right here also into my view for day view. You can edit if you want, you can cut this meeting and so on. So you will get a notification right before this meeting starts, and you will never forget about it. So now you can see the reminder. I just got a reminder that I defined earlier with my first reminder. Okay, now let's see another view. Let's go to view for events. Basically this is somehow like a view for day, but you can see all the important events for a period. For example, for this week you can see that I have a notice, I have some reminders. For example, here it's in my language, and it said that I have to send a water index for my home. Okay, this is the current time position. Blue means past, white it's future, and those are weekends. Also I have for Tuesday 24 February I have another meeting, you can see it right here, and so on. So there are a lot of informations that you can find by using this view. You can also create some events right here, create a notice, reminder. It's the same story like in a view for day. Now let's go to view for task. If you are wondering about the dates you were working for a task, this is the screen. For example, for the task email attachments types, you can see all the days that I worked and all the time that I spent for each day. Sorry. Okay, if you select a day and let's say view day, this will open view for day for the selected day. So it's useful. And the last view, it's view for period. This is important when you want to see all your tasks for a period. For example, for November, let's take a look. In my case, those are all my tasks for November. You can see that I worked 155 hours and 30 minutes, and I had an overtime of 3 hours and 30 minutes. Now you can see all the time that you spent on each task, and if you can create so you can use task groups if you want to group some tasks together and see the time for a group. Let's say that I want to create task groups from task providers names. I will use this button, and now I will bind those groups to the task in my list. Bind all, and the result is right here. Of course you can for example, you can change the group for a task and so on. But if you are interested to see all the time that I spent for the task that came from this task provider, so each one valid, I will say report, and please take a look. For November, for each one valid, I spent 23 hours and 3 minutes. So this is useful. You can configure your application for your needs. For example, if you go to configuration, here you have a change configuration, and there are a lot of options that you can set. I just told you before about the time, the total work time that you have to stay in the company. For my case, it's 8 working hours. There are other options to set. For example, the place where the database backup file will be created, and so on. Also, if I go to tasks And task comments, for example, why did I, okay, for this one you can see that you can include so you can create PDF from comments, and you can also export the comment into text file and so on. I think that's enough information. Thank you for watching. Bye.